Hey everybody, I thought I'd just do a quick update. A lot going on here. As you can hear from my voice, I am doing much better. Occasionally I kind of get a frog in my throat, and I'm still a little bit tired. I don't have as much endurance as usual, but I want to thank you for all the prayers, and that I am feeling better. As for prayers for Mark, his diabetes is a little out of whack right now, and it's affecting his blood pressure some, so he's kind of struggling with that a little bit. So if you would pray for him, we'd appreciate that. I thought I'd just give a quick update of what's going on this morning. We posted that we had an urgent need for our refrigerator to replace it. After repairing it a number of times, the repairman said, nope, it's just not. He could try and fix it, but it's going to end up costing more money, and it's just better to go ahead and get a new one. And so Mark and I kind of prayed about it, and we thought, let's ask. So we did that urgent plea, and you guys are responding. It just is amazing. It's just gathering and stacking up, and we decided to step out in faith, kind of like the Israelites when they came to the Jordan and they were carrying the Ark of the Covenant, and God said, step into the waters. A raging, dirty river with gold on their shoulders, and God says, step into the water. As soon as they did, he parted the water. So we're taking that on faith, and we're stepping out, and we worked with our contact at the shop where we buy a lot of our big appliances, and he's found a refrigerator that's comparable to what we have, that should be able to fit through our doors, and he's arranging for it, and so hopefully maybe by the end of the week we'll have a new refrigerator. And so again, just stepping out on faith that God's going to provide it for us, because he's called us to this ministry, and we might be struggling for a couple days because of not having a refrigerator, but he provides. So this morning we got up. Mark was up about 5, and he cooked breakfast and cooked all of the bacon that we had in the fridge, and a large portion of the eggs, some of the cheese, those kind of things. We've been yesterday and today we're looking to eat as much of the leftovers as we can. Just make up meals out of what we have there. A lot of things went into the freezer, some fresh meats and stuff that we had just gotten. Today, after breakfast, of course, we did our Bible study and then ate breakfast. I immediately cooked up a whole bunch of chicken. I did some chicken baked with barbecue sauce and chicken baked with curry sauce. Then I grilled some turkey from one of the turkeys that we had harvested that had been thawing. I also boiled some chicken that I shredded it and put in some pickles and mayonnaise and spices and celery from the kitchen garden. We're going to have that for lunch on bread. I had a can of pumpkin that I had conserved that looked like it was going to pop, so we had stuck it in the fridge. So I opened that up and made 5 loaves of pumpkin spice bread. We also had a lot of sour cherries that we had gotten off trees, and so I went ahead and made homemade juice, or compote we call it. So we have that also for lunch. So I just did a lot of those things, and then what was left over went down into the cellar, and that's kind of like a slightly warm refrigerator, so things should keep pretty well. But pretty much what we have down there is like mayonnaise that hasn't been opened, which was sitting on the shelves in the store, not in a refrigerator. We've got eggs, butter, just a little bit of butter, those kind of things that can survive down there. And all the meat that I cooked up since it's cooked up, it'll survive down there for a couple of days as we eat off of it. And what else did we do? I forget. Because I was doing all that cooking, the guys had a lot of dishes to do. They did their daily work, with feeding the animals and the dishes and those kind of things. Our septic tank was full, so we arranged for our neighbor down the street, Pasha, to come, and the pump wasn't working, so Pastor Sergey's here today, and he and his assistant Dima fixed it. Mark had an older pump. They were able to take a cable off of that and put it on to the current pump and get it up and running again, which is good because our tank was pretty full. Mark and Yura are in the kitchen taking apart the refrigerator because we brought it into the house before we had finished the floors or the doors. So we're having to take it apart a little bit more to get it out. So they've taken the legs, 6 legs off of the bottoms and the frames for those legs, taken the doors off the front, and he thought he had it to the size where he could get it through, but then realized the facade up at the top that houses the motor, the front of it sticks out. So now they're taking that off. All the shelves are out of it, the braces for the shelves, everything, and we're setting it out off to the side of the driveway. And we've asked the shop that's going to deliver the new refrigerator if they can take the old refrigerator, and the repairman, Sergey, he can fix it up and maybe sell it if they can. If not, we'll call some of the metal recycling guys and we'll give it to them or sell it to them. So we'll kind of see what's going to happen with that. Let's see what else is going on today. We're probably going to bring our younger boar Sharky in to have time with the last young sow, Purdy. He mated one day with Buttons. I just caught the day. The sows go into heat for 3 days, and you have to really pay attention when they're young because it's not as evident, and Dima's just not catching some of it. So we had put the boar in with her a couple days before to kind of promote her going into estrus, and she did, but we caught her on the last day, so I'm not sure if she's going to be pregnant or not, so we'll have to watch in a month to see if she's willing to go with him. They did put the boar in with her that one day, but they didn't watch, and they got to watch, because if not, we don't know if there's contact and whether they bred or not. So they were pretty quiet, so maybe it happened, we just don't know. Of course, we've had a couple more bunnies, and they're growing and doing really well. The birds, the turkeys are sitting on eggs, the geese are sitting on eggs, and the turkey ducks are sitting on eggs, which is really good. Excited about that. Nothing else really about our animals. We got a number of days of rain, and of course, all the weeds shot up. So hopefully this week we'll have some good weather, not too hot hopefully, and we'll get out and try and attack those weeds again, because if we can beat them down in July, then we've got it made until the harvest pretty much. Sergey's going to be evaluating the garlic today to see how close it is to being harvesting time. Usually we would do it around the end of June, mid-in June, but we would have planted it back in the fall, and because Mark and I were preparing to come to America and we had such a huge beet harvest, we didn't have time, so we planted it early spring, so it's kind of pushed the harvest into July. But once we get the garlic harvested, we'll have some really good paths for access to most of our squash for the animals. We are getting squash already for the animals, which is really good. They picked the first 3 small cucumbers today. We've got a bunch of green tomatoes that should be turning red soon. Peppers are on the plants. Just harvested some cabbage to use in a salad. And of course, our kitchen garden, we're getting lots of parsley and celery and fennel and dill and all those kind of things from that. So anyway, that's just kind of an update. And now it's 11:30. We've gotten all of that stuff done. We'll be sitting down to have lunch at 12, and I think Sergey will do a Bible study with the guys. He's going to speak later today with a group of refugees at a house that's been set aside for refugees that come through so they can be helped. And they're going to be taking some of the soy and rice that we got as a donation for us and for the church, and a couple other things like that, and hopefully start to build that relationship there. since the refugees are kind of moving through, it'll be a different group each time. But again, just meeting those people in need, and our church is able to help through Sergey, and we'll see how that kind of grows. Anyway, just keep us in prayer. Again, thank you for the quick response for the refrigerator, and we know that we're going to achieve the goal and be able to get us a new refrigerator, which is a huge asset in the work that we do here. So God bless, and I'll talk to you later.